Welcome to Moms of the Lou, hosted by two fellow St. Louis moms, Rebecca
and Lauren,
and recorded for St. Louis moms.
Grab your laundry basket, kick your feet up for nap time, or head out the door for pickup, and spend a little time catching up with local moms who are making a big impact in St. Louis.
Let's dive into our discussion today. All right, St. Louis moms, we're back for another episode of Moms of the Lou, joined today by a really exciting guest. I think that you will know this brand or maybe have seen it on someone at the pool this past summer. So we're so excited to be joined by the co-founder of Summersalt, Reshma Chattaram Chamberlin. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes. So you have co-founded now a global brand, but you are a St. Louis mom, and that's what brings you here today. So we're so excited to talk about all things St. Louis mom life. So tell us a little bit about your story. I know you are a transplant, so maybe we can start there.
Oh my gosh, what a journey it's been. Well, I grew up in Mumbai in India, then moved to the US for college, then moved to New York City, and then moved to St. Louis when I got engaged to my husband, and about 3 days before our wedding. So I was a reluctant mover, if you will. Reluctant might be a nice word. I moved here, and if I'm being completely honest, for other transplants to here, I was pretty miserable for the first maybe 7 years. I mean, that's a long time to be miserable in a place. But I'm persistent. And what changed for me was we moved from the suburbs to the city. I absolutely am a city girl through and through. Mumbai is 22 million people. New York is, I think, 14 million people. I needed to be in a community with diversity, walkability, and we moved to the city. We moved to the Central West End, and then I started a bunch of companies, and those two things changed everything. And now I could not imagine raising my family anywhere else. And bonus, we get to go to New York and many, many other places very, very often. Which is just the most beautiful life.
I love that. Lauren has a unique point of view, too, as a transplant, and I'm sure she can relate to a lot of what you're saying.
I, too, was forced to move to St. Louis from San Diego.
That's a tough move.
It's similar. Yes. So similar story. I was engaged and moved here, and it was reluctant. You know, I was not super excited about moving here to the Midwest, all leaving my family. But yeah, it has grown on me, obviously. I love St. Louis. I love raising a family here. There's so much to do. I was going to ask you, what are some of the things that you do love about St. Louis, and what are some things that make it feel like home to you?
Oh my God, the list is endless, but I would say the sense of community. And I know making friends in St. Louis can be tough when you move here because people, which I think is actually a beautiful thing. I used to always, be like, okay, people just are still friends with their high school friends and are still in their same little pod. But how beautiful is that to have friends that you grew up with and can stick with and enjoy?
Yeah.
So St. Louis is a hard place to make friends, but I have the most beautiful community. I live in the Central West End. We were hit pretty badly by the tornado, all of our streets. And even before the tornado, all of us girls on a few streets in my neighborhood, we'd meet once a month. We called it the Big House Book Club. And we'd meet. We rarely read a book. I never read a book. We'd eat. We'd have wine. We'd chat. Sometimes till midnight on a school night, which is just so, so, so fun.
Yeah.
And the tornado has brought us all even closer. And it's truly a community you can rely on, like, whether it's, going to someone for coffee, texting someone if you're crying because of something, or helping each other. My friend Elle has been doing an amazing job helping those less fortunate in Alley Rand in North City, where, north of us, essentially, where the tornado really decimated neighborhoods and there hasn't been much help. So I think St. Louis is a place where people show up for each other, whether you know each other or not. And that's just been absolutely amazing to be a part of. And that's what makes St. Louis really, really special.
Yeah. That's amazing. So your community, it sounds like, was birthed out of proximity, those around you, closest to you. And so.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's what I missed, right, is, you become friends if you live in a close building with people. You see your neighbors often. And so living in a city allows you to see your neighbors more often. You bump into each other at Starbucks or Caldi's. You see each other at different events, whether that's Halloween or on a patio at a restaurant. And that's what, community is all about.
That's such a good point. We're suburb dwellers. So, it's like you get in your car, you go from point A to point B, but we could go like days without seeing somebody, if you're not intentional about it, just because you get in your rhythm. And so
I think that's what I love most about being a mom in a community. I think that's what kind of brings me closer to people. Do you feel like you became more connected to St. Louis after you became a mom?
Oh, 100%. And I didn't want children for the longest time. So that's also a twist in my story. And in COVID, we spent a lot of time talking about things. COVID just brought out so many thoughts, feelings, emotions. And we were like, why don't we just go for it? My husband had testicular cancer. And so we knew we couldn't get pregnant naturally. So we did IVF, started in COVID, essentially. Took about 2 years, a lot of trials and tribulations in between. And so our little boy is very much wanted, very much loved. And having him really connected me to more people, right? You start it's an automatic connection. We often say at Summersalt is not about a particular type of woman. It's about what binds a woman and the experience of buying a swimsuit that binds her. We all have stress buying a swimsuit, right? And so I think motherhood is similar. Is you could be from different parts of the world. You could be from completely different points of view. But there is a bond that's established automatically knowing that someone else is a mother. We've all had to experience that in some way of caring for a child. And so that really does expand kind of your friendship opportunity and the way you engage with society. You're more invested, I think, in the future of a place.
Absolutely.
And creating a sense of community and wanting there to be stability and someone to lean on and neighbors to call when there's a snow day and have a pizza party and then shoveling their car out of our driveway. There's all these wonderful, magical moments that occur, and not that you cannot have them if you choose not to have children or cannot have children, or that's not your path. And all of those paths are beautiful. But for me personally, it has expanded kind of how I interact with the world.
Yeah. That's awesome. So true. Okay. Where do you like to go with your son?
That's a very broad question. In St. Louis? Okay, because we do travel a lot. So in St. Louis, we are at the zoo a majillion times a year. We could not even count.
Do you like the train?
He is a train-obsessed toddler. Yeah. It chugs, Mom. I'm like, yes, I know. It does a hoo-hoo. Yeah, so we ride the train endlessly as much as we possibly can. And talk about trains endlessly. So the zoo is top on our list. I'm on the board of Forest Park Forever. So Forest Park has a very, very, very dear place in our heart. The Forest Park Forever does such an amazing job helping and collaborating with the city to maintain the park in the most beautiful way. We live near the park. So those are just our really most favorite things to do.
And it's always there. The zoo, it's always open.
It's always open and it's always there and it's free. Yeah. All the things we absolutely love. Yes. And, that's the most amazing part about St. Louis. We have so many incredible cultural institutions that are either very reasonable and top tier caliber or free and accessible to the public, which is, you can't say that for many other cities at all.
Right. Forest Park alone has
so much.
And it's all free.
Most of it. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. That was a big draw for me in St. Louis, was just standing at the top of, I remember this, just standing at the top of Art Hill, looking down and thinking, whoa.
There's a lot here. Yeah.
There's a lot here. And it's beautiful.
And it's an outsized ratio of cultural and art institutions and things like that to the population. So you really get to enjoy these really big, beautiful things that you would usually need to be in a much bigger city to enjoy, whether it's the St. Louis Opera, whether it's the zoo, whether it's the Muni, whether it's the art museum, whether it's the science center. It's all of these incredible things.
So where do you guys like to eat?
my God, we love to eat. And our little boy, knock on wood, I hope it doesn't change. He is definitely a foodie. He's not 3 yet. He is going to be 3 in October. Vietnamese is his absolute
Ooh,
favorite.
nice.
So we order from Little Saigon in the Central West End probably once a week.
Nice.
We all absolutely love sushi. When you ask him what roll you like, he'll say hamachi. So he loves a hamachi roll. If you aren't familiar with Kazu Sushi to go, they're in Dogtown and
Okay.
only do to go, and it's really incredible high quality sushi like you get in New York. I think they moved here from New York.
Okay.
Wow.
And
okay.
there are a couple that own it. So we take sushi to go, and Mr. Joe always makes a special roll for extra things. And so we do that. We love other places like Lona's Little Eats, Winslow's Table. Union Loafers is a big family favorite. We absolutely adore that place as well.
Their pizza is
So
good.
delicious.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a hot tip about the sushi because I'm always looking for
It
Yeah.
is absolutely
solid
fantastic. It is
sushi, you know?
solid quality, fresh, well made, no fishy smell, taste, like just really incredible. And he's truly a sushi master, Mr. Joe. And so
Okay.
we pop in there and they're amazing. And so we do that once a week.
And now a word from the college school in Webster Groves. Looking for a school that's as dynamic and engaging as your child? At the college school in Webster Groves, students from age 3 through 8th grade engage in dynamic academics, blended with experiential, outdoor learning that builds confidence, curiosity, and community. From child-led projects in preschool to ecological research trips in middle school, TCS students grow into bold thinkers and compassionate leaders. Want to see it for yourself? Join them at their open house on Saturday, November 15th at 9 a.m. and experience the difference of a TCS education. Learn more at thecollegeschool.org.
So I want to ask you about Summersalt, obviously. I'm a
Yes.
huge
Yay,
fan.
that makes me so happy.
Huge fan. I know, you're a mom now. And I think what sets you apart right now is this, what I've noticed in the messaging in social media and around, the mom community is like, just dive in, be the mom, just get in your suit, get in the pool. Your kids are watching, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big movement for body confidence. And that's always been your mission. I feel like it's like suit up, get in the water. Everybody is a Summersalt body. And that was years ago. That was before all of this, came out. What was your inspiration or the catalyst for that messaging?
I love that question. So, we really changed the way an industry is marketed. If you look at swimsuit marketing before Summersalt, it was very one-dimensional. Everybody truly is a Summersalt body, and we believe that from day one. The impetus for starting the brand and the name was really to inspire people to interact with life, take a somersault, interact with life. And the foundation of the brand was to inspire childlike joy. So when we all think about ourselves as young girls at the beach, we were not thinking about all the things that cloud us as we became tweens and teens and young adults and now women and mothers that the media had imposed on us that women should look and feel like. And so the brand was born from the reason being, embrace that childlike joy. What did that sun on our skin feel like? Our toes in the sand feel like? Cartwheeling, lying on the beach, building sandcastles. And so that's really the foundation of the brand. And that's how we built the brand from that place. And Everybody's a Summersalt Body campaign came out of that. Really thinking about embracing who we are. And we've gotten thousands and thousands of notes and letters from women saying, you know what? I hadn't put on a swimsuit in 8 years. Or I didn't get into the pool with my kids and now I'm getting into the pool. So we always say we're changing women's lives a swimsuit at a time, which is sometimes people are like, oh, it's just a garment. A swimsuit is the most emotional garment you will ever purchase.
For
It's the
women,
most
too.
naked
Yes.
you are in public. And it is really a vehicle for adventure, right? We say women buy swimwear ahead of something that they're going to do, whether it's a lake trip, whether it's a summer at their own pool, whether it's a summer at the community pool, or a big bucket list trip to Bali. And so it's a vehicle for adventure and embracing that inner childlike joy. So that's how it all started.
Well, and you've captured that so well in your branding and the style of the suits and the colors. I mean, I feel like there's something for everyone. You know, there's something that's bright and fun. And then if somebody wants something more muted, you know, It's just, there's so many different options. So
which is what we absolutely love. And then we have Mommy and Me now, which is
I
really
saw
fun.
that.
So you can match with your littles, and a few more fun collaborations coming out end of year and then early next. And it's just really fun to see the brand grow. We've sold more than $400+ million worth of
Wow.
amazing.
swimwear.
Wow.
Amazing.
And more than 1 million women have side strokes, which is just so incredible.
Including me. I
Yeah,
have a side
we
stroke.
absolutely love it.
That's awesome. So you co-founded this business with your co-founder, Lori, and I'd love to know that story. How did it come about? How did you meet? How was all of this born?
Okay, Lori's the absolute best. She's also a St. Louis mom of 2 and a mom
Oh
I
my
really
gosh,
admire.
I know our next guest.
Yes, absolutely. She has a 19-year-old and a 14-year-old who are absolute darlings. But we, met through the St. Louis entrepreneurial community, and we weren't friends. We had never worked together, but we kind of just kept in touch. And I had an app previously, and Lori was really, really helpful to me, just even the first minute I met her. So we kept in touch, and then serendipitously, we ran into each other at an event in New York City. Which was very serendipitous. Also, me at an event past 9 with people I don't know is like a big stretch. So I was really meant to be there.
Yeah.
And we ended up just discussing Summersalt and what she had planned for it. And I looked at her and said, "What do you think about a co-founder?" And she said, "Yes, let's talk about it." And we're not both very impulsive people. And I left that meeting going, "Did we just decide this?" And she did too. And then we started meeting every weekend at the Starbucks in the Central West End because we both had other businesses, and just working Summersalt out. And as they say, the rest is history. That was, it'll be 9 years since we had that meeting in January. And it's been a wild, wonderful, crazy, difficult, fabulous ride all in the same breath.
Wow.
I love that. That's such a takeaway for entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur is like shoot your shot, like you went for it. You were like, hey, here's the idea. Let's.
Yeah, I mean, I really was going through a phase where I was like, okay, if you don't ask for what you want, you're never going to get it. So I was like, "Lori, I love what you're putting together." And she had deep expertise in swim. And I said, this to me is something that I feel in my bones can be something big. And I don't want to watch it from the sidelines as a vendor. I want to really participate in the excitement and the stress, let's be honest, of building a brand. And Lori and I are really 2 sides of the same coin. We bring different skill sets, but we're incredibly strategically aligned. And so that really allows us to do what we do and do it well.
I feel like there's a big community of moms in St. Louis that are entrepreneurial, that they are makers, and they wanted to start something new for themselves. Do you have any advice in their early stages of planning their new business, or what?
Gosh, that's such a good question. I think that I always say the grass is green where you water it. So don't feel afraid to just focus on what you need to focus on. I feel like there's a lot of distractions. And so when I needed to just hunker down and focus, and I still do that now, no is often and frequent for me. So I don't spend time with people I don't want to spend time with. I don't do things I don't want to spend time with. I only have this much bandwidth with a toddler with incredible tornado damage. We're so grateful that it wasn't worse. And I know other people are suffering much more with a business that needs a lot of attention, time, energy, which also needs a lot of creative energy, time, and space. So when building something, my recommendation would be say no a lot, focus on what matters, and don't be afraid of hard work. I've really grinded it out, and I still grind it out. It's not easy. So sometimes people think that you could just snap your fingers and a business happens, but it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what's your favorite mom hack, but it sounds like that's it. Maybe saying no and don't doing things you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Can't do.
Absolutely. And, having joy in motherhood. I was 37 when I became a mom. I'm 40 now. And I really, really worked hard to make happen. And I just really love and enjoy being a mother. And because I have a busy job, I do outsource other things. Like I do have someone clean my house, and people are not usually honest about the help that they get. And that's so, so important to understand. We used to outsource meals. It was just too much, especially when he was, very small. And so now I just really revel in motherhood. It's my most favorite thing. I enjoy it. He's my little buddy. He's definitely a mama's boy, and it's truly a joy. And they're just so little for such a little time.
Yes,
So,
such a short time.
yeah, just enjoy it.
Okay, I have one more question for you before we wrap it up. You guys have grown quickly in a short amount of time, and what do you think have been some catalysts for growth? Because I know, like, obviously, social media has exploded. So when it's come to like marketing your brand, advertising it, what would you say have been some of the biggest catalysts for your growth?
That's a really good question. I think social media has just changed so much from when we started. So
Yeah.
I would say from when we started, the influencer community was very different. And we were very early to the influencer game. So we gifted a lot of influencers for free.
Mhm.
And everyone accepted our gifting and posted about it. This was large influencers early, like 8 years ago.
Mhm.
So the environment was really different. So that was a big catalyst. We had a lot of celebrities and influencers post quickly.
Mhm.
The other piece was getting really great press. One of the first stories we got in the summer of 2017 when we had just launched was Elle magazine's #1 one shoulder.
Mm.
That
Oh,
was truly
yeah.
a catalyst moment. Press is not the engine it used to be either. So
Mm.
for us, that was a really pivotal moment. And then, of course, Everybody's a Summersalt body campaign. We had a full page ad in the New
Mm.
York Times. We had a subway takeover in Manhattan. We had billboards. It just was awe-inspiring, and people were talking about it
Yeah.
everywhere. And it really changed the trajectory of the brand because in 8 years, I can go in almost any room and mention Summersalt, and someone will have either bought a swimsuit or heard
Mhm.
about it.
Yep.
Whereas before I started and I was telling a few people, they'd be like, "You're crazy to do this." And so sometimes crazy works out.
Yeah.
And it has worked out. Worked out beautifully. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. So moms can find Summersalt on Instagram. Go to the website, check it out. Maybe get yourself a suit for next summer.
Mm-hmm.
Get ahead of the game.
Yeah, and you can use Welcome 10 for a little bit off your order, which we
Ooh.
always love sharing. And our DMs are always open if anyone has ideas. So thank you both so much for having me.
Thank you for coming, being a part of Moms of the Lou.
All right, St. Louis moms, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening to Moms of the Lou. We hope it encouraged you and put a pep in your step and helped you get to know our community a little bit better. Be sure to find us on Instagram, @STLewis_mom. You can find us on Facebook, St. Louis Mom. You can find us on our website, www.stlouismom.com. In case nobody else tells you today, you're a great mom and you're doing a great job. Chat with you next time.